Okay, this is going to be a Street Fighter hot take, but I don't think we give Dan Hibiki enough credit as we should. Now, hold on, hear me out, hear me out. Now, look, I get it. Dan was created to be one of, if not the worst Street Fighter ever. And compared to other fighters like Ryu and Ken, Chun-Li, and all the rest of them, yeah, he's gonna get washed in this competition. Like, bro's only superpower is to hype himself up and to make himself even more of a big deal than he already is, only to wind up having his own foot in his mouth. But when it comes right down to it, you look at Dan and then you look at all the other potential fighters in the competition that he has to go up against, and the fact that he still managed to get into the competition and try to fight these guys, knowing full well that he would lose. I'm sorry, that deserves a lot more respect from me. And officially, Goken did refuse teaching him the Ansetsuken because Dan's heart was so filled with vengeance for Sagat, meaning that Dan could full well possess the Satsui no Hado. But unofficially, Goken just rejected him because he sucked. But even with that, you still gotta give him credit for literally trying to go up against this monster. Like, for real, this man just watched this dude just beat his daddy to a pulp, and he still said, yeah, I'm gonna get my get back. And I'm sitting here like, did you miss what happened to your dad? Like, look at him. He ain't breathing, bro. He ain't breathing. And you want to go up against that. You want to go up against that. Alright, and let's be honest here. If Sagat didn't feel pity for this man, he probably wouldn't let him walk away. He probably would have killed him just like that. But again, you gotta respect Dan for having the cojones to go up against him and pretty much try to pick a fight with him. Like, let's be real. If I see somebody like Sagat in real life, I'm walking the other way. I'm like, nah, I ain't see nothing. I ain't saying shit. I'm gone. Goodbye. But Dan, of all people, was like, nah, I'm getting my get back today, and you're pretty much going to be feeling it today. Knowing full well he can't fight. Like, he was lucky that Sagat had a heart and pretty much decided to throw the fight for him, because if he didn't, Dan would be dead. But again, having that much testosterone to go up against this Muay Thai monster? Yeah, no, I gotta give it to Dan on that one. Not to mention looking at his teammates, yeah, Dan probably won't beat anybody, but we all know that these two can hold their own in a fight. A high schooler who's a lot better at fighting than you are, and a savage green monster from Brazil. Though I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty sad that a high school girl is much better at fighting than you are. But overall, yeah, Dan is the weakest fighter, but at the same time, you have to give this man some props. But despite that weakness and his arrogance, you can always count on Dan to always try to pull through and prove himself. That deserves a lot of respect. But seriously, don't go to this man's dojo. You will die. His fighting style, you will die.